Ahead of the release of Dispatch by Ad Hoc Studios, I got to sit down and talk with some of the cast. In this video, you'll see my conversations with Laura Bailey, Invisigal, and Erin Yvette, Blonde Blazer, as well as my conversations with Travis Willingham, Phenomenon, Joel Haver, Waterboy, and in-universe character Lance Kanstopoulos, who is Flambe. We discuss how they got involved in the project, their characters, what's important approaching a role with plot deviations, and what makes Dispatch unique. I hope you enjoy. To get started, to introduce the world to your characters, I'd love if you could both say, who your character is, how we meet them in the story.
Ooh.
Oh, you go first.
Okay.
You come first.
Yeah. What? I play Blonde Blazer, very serious, doesn't joke around about whatever that is. No, actually, maybe she does. But Blonde Blazer hails from the ethos of like golden age superheroes. She's got like top tier super strength, flight, everything, someone would want when they dream of having superpowers. And she carries the mantle with grace and dignity, and I think she is unfulfilled by it and seeking something a little bit more. And I think it's a surprising move for a superhero to maybe end up at a desk job when they aren't forced to. But I think there's actually something very exciting for Blazer in terms of the difference she can make reforming the Z team, supervillains who are looking for a second chance at life. And I think she genuinely sees the good in people and wants to help nurture them forward. But when you first meet her in the game, she's saving Robert's ass. Yeah. It won't be the last time.
And I play Invisigal. Speaking of reforming, she is an ex supervillain trying to be better, and having a difficult go of it. Yeah, and the first time you meet her, I think is in a moment where she is undermining you.
Yeah.
And giving our player Robert Robertson a tough time.
Fantastic. And you brought up...
Yeah, no, it certainly won't be the last. We just revealed her superpower of invisibility. So
yeah, speaking of the powers, there definitely is this thing that happens in the game between the full gamut of like the Wonder Woman superpowers and Invisigal referring to her powers as like the evil powers. How fair do you think that is that something like invisibility is evil when we definitely see our fair share of hero and villain invisibility?
that's true. I think, we were just talking about it earlier, like if I had the ability to go invisible, I think it might start in an altruistic sort of way. I would try to be good with it, but the temptation is so there. It's so present of just knowing you can get away with things and no one will be able to know. That you really have to have the strongest moral code in order to not slip into something nefarious.
Yeah. The power corrupts, absolutely.
Very true. Traditional superhero stories are all about the larger-than-life circumstances, but Dispatch is more of a workplace drama. What about the story made you really want to be a part of it?
Kind of exactly what you just pitched.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the fresh perspective of a, I think we could say a well-tread genre, but there's still so much more to mine out of it. And this game really does kind of just turn it on its head and explore, do the supervillains actually want to be supervillains? And if they don't, how do they change their archetype when your superpower can define you, or your rap sheet can define you, or for Blazer, her legacy, or Mecha Man, the legacy is defining them. How do you move on past that if you have to or if you want to? I think it's all very a fresh, take on.
It feels very grounded. I think that's what drew me to it so much, is that you've got this immense world and these immense powers, but the story feels very intimate.
Fantastic, wonderful. Speaking of the different paths, what kind of difficulties arise as an actor when you're acting in a non-linear story? When one moment you know that you need to hate this person, and then you're in the exact same scene, but the situation is totally flipped.
Right. You have to have a lot of trust in your director and the writer and the entire team to make sure that the performance that you're giving is going to be supported. But also you have to like so much of it is like trusting that they are giving you the right information, of like, okay, you're coming from this scene and this is changing because of the choice that he made it 2 episodes ago, but the payoff is right now, and it just, you have to know when you're about to get in the booth that you are an empty slate, just ready for the information.
Yeah, yeah, and that a certain aspect of your character remains unchanged regardless. So
Yes.
you have that foundation of the character you've explored and created together with the creative team, so that when you make these choices, all of them feel like they can coexist in the person you've
Yeah.
established.
So they can shift on a dime and it still makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, fantastic. Well, that's what questions that I have. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk with me. I've had a blast with the game. The performances are incredible, and I'm looking forward to checking out the last 4 chapters.
Lovely. Thank you.
All right. For Travis and Joel, who are your characters in Dispatch, and where do you meet them at the beginning of the story?
Oh, amazing. I'm Travis Willingham. I play Phenomena Man in the game. You will see him first in the very first chapter on a commercial for SDN as you head to their headquarters.
I'm Joel Haver. I play Waterboy, and I believe he comes in episode 2. He is a new hire at SDN, and he's set to be the janitor. So a very important role. Everyone needs one.
Well, you're right. I'm in episode 2 as well. It's not episode 1.
Yeah.
Both episode 2. Yeah. There you go.
And Flambe, you're a well-known villain trying to turn over a new leaf. Why the change of heart, and what's drawn you to be part of Z-Team?
What the hell, man?
I don't, change of pace. They seem like a cool crew. Maybe that. Friendship.
The benefits are awesome.
Yeah, they're
Good
dental.
benefits.
Dental.
Good dental?
They have vision, so they do teeth, eyeballs, and body.
How's their burn surgery? I'm sure that's
So
good.
good, so good. Skin graft, so good.
Yeah.
Off the chain.
Joel, how were you approached for this project? What's the story of you joining up with Dispatch?
It was Nick and Pierre, who are the director and writers of the game. They reached out to me via email because they had seen some of my animations. I do YouTube. I do some rotoscope animations on YouTube.
Love your
amongst other
stuff.
things. Oh, thank you so much. And Nick and Pierre reached out. I think they liked what I did on my channel. They liked the awkward comedy, the strange sort of stilted dialogue that felt very real in fantastical settings, and I think that was a very natural pairing for this game. It's very grounded, real dialogue in a very fantastical setting. And they brought me on to play Waterboy, who is a bit of an awkward mess of a man, and he also cleans messes, so maybe he'll clean his own mess, and that's the beautiful part of this story.
You have to be a mess
Wow.
to know a mess.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
The
right.
janitor.
Takes one. It was fun from the start. It was great to see this big, barrel-chested, broad-shouldered character that has strength, flight, all of these amazing abilities. But when he gets down to it, he can't hold a normal conversation without confounding the people that he's talking to. He doesn't understand humans, emotions escape him, humor, subtlety. That's not going to serve him well at all. Plus, he has that powerful stash, which
Yeah.
is so distracting. But the great thing is being able to play someone all powerful like that, and they're not maligned. They're not trying to take over the world. It's not an Omni-Man character, although mustache game,
Mustache.
recognized mustache game.
Yeah.
This guy, he's almost more childlike in a way. It's very against type in trying to figure out who humans are. Love has him absolutely head over heels. He's trying his best to learn from anyone that will possibly take a moment to sit with him. Luckily, Robert Robertson will give him a little bit of his time.
Speaking of Robert Robertson, there he is in a bar. He throws an entire glass of alcohol at you, Flambe, and the next day you've got to clock into work and work with him. What was that like, and how has working with him over the past week or so evolved your relationship there?
I mean, that's a very tense moment, and then to have to like be coworkers is tough after that. It's not water under the bridge, you know?
It's alcohol in the face.
There's alcohol in the face, yeah. There must be like an HR department to like bring that up or something.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
hey, this is what he did. Can you fire him? Yeah, you just kind of like avoid his cube for a while.
And for all, having to act in a story where there are so many branching paths, what kind of difficulties arise in comparison to voicing in a traditional story where you know the start and the end?
For me, it was just like I was in the hand of good directors. Like they are the ones keeping track of that branching path. They're keeping track of like, is this character just betrayed in the previous scene? Are they not betrayed? Like how should you play this moment? And fortunately, they are really good at keeping track of that stuff. So you just go with it. You're like, okay, I trust that this scene I am not as sad as I just was, even though it's the same same scene. Like there's a level of just like trusting that they're keeping that in line, which is a great burden off of you as an actor to have great directors and writers who are tracking all these characters' emotions as they ebb and flow throughout the story.
Yeah, the characters go through some crazy ass twists and turns, so we'll frequently ask like, is this the one where I've been romancing the elephant, or is this where I'm in my crystal meth phase? They're like, oh no, it's in between.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have a bird's eye view of everything. So when you come in the booth, you're in good hands. You could trust them. So they just direct us really well because we live our lives, we lose sight of where we are, and they're good at getting us back on track.
Yeah.
So yeah, they have the roadmap of everything.
Fantastic. And then, as a final question, Travis, I have to ask you, as the CEO of Critical Role, what elements of what you saw in Dispatch and the team at Ad Hoc Studio really makes you, certain and confident that this is the team to tackle Exandria's first video game outing?
Well, we had the great pleasure to work with Pierre Charette and Nick Herman during their Telltale days on a number of games, and we recognized the talent back then. But once we got our eyes on a little demo scene from Dispatch, I was extremely hungry to learn as much as I could. What was the story? How long was it? Where was it going? What kind of characters were in it? And the more I learned, the more curious we became. I also think they've just done an incredible job on the visuals. The animation is stellar. I know it's a video game as much as I beg them to make it an animated series because that's what I saw the first time. I was like, this is a show. It needs to be something for, TV or streaming audience as well. And who knows? We'll see what happens. But that's, I think, just the beginning of the world of Dispatch. We also love people that are making their very own IPs and making something from scratch in a Critical Role. We love to try and turn it into any other medium so you can find new audiences, whether it's through, books, comic books, animation, or a TTRPG. I think Dispatch would play great with rolling some dice in an actual play setting. It's just ripe for that. The personalities are so big. So it's just the beginning, and if we can help bring it to as many people as possible, then that's going to bring us a lot of joy in the interim.
Fantastic. Well, thank you guys so much for taking the time to chat with me. Loving the game so far. Really looking forward to getting the ending. And have a good rest of your day. Good luck with the rest of the
Awesome.
interviews.
Thank you so much.
Good to see you.